morning, everyone. It's February 23rd, Monday. We don't have a whole lot of good surf news in the forecast this week. We do have a little bit of swell that's going to be filling in Wednesday, dropping down from the Gulf. Got a little bit of Western Pacific stuff headed our way for Friday into Saturday, but that's not looking all that promising either. And it looks like we may see some good amount of wind swell come down from the Gulf right around Sunday the 1st. But the weather pattern just isn't setting up very well across the Western Pacific. Swells are just not really lined up and set up to really bring us anything significant. Once again, plagued by that blocking high pressure. So I wanted to show you everything that's going on in the models. This is what's happening right now. I wanted to first take a look out here on the satellite view. We can see that there's still a storm passing through Southern California. You can see this on the infrared where there's a lot of red that's farther to the north of SoCal. That's rain passing through the central coast. A little bit of green offshore. That's some cloud cover. Could bring us a little bit of precipitation, but not much. Big, heavy southerly moisture plume that's still sitting offshore. That's been being whipped in by that low pressure that's been over our area. And that low pressure hasn't really nudged its way far into Southern California. But right behind you can see there's a lot of clear blue, and that's blue skies that we'll be seeing here shortly. But those blue skies are really just a relative term because we've got heavy troughing that's pushing down almost right across Southern California. This is a view of the jet stream. You can see we've still got high pressure ridging over in the Western Pacific, that trough pushing down towards Southern California, and that jet stream in blue right around Southern California coming up from the south. And that's indicative of a continued storm pattern, a southerly flow tapping into that moisture. So we're still looking at high clouds for a while. As the models progress, they still show some troughing, not really much in the way of a difference between troughing and a high pressure ridge. As time goes on, we can see that that changes a little bit, but that jet stream still isn't all that strong. The stronger colors are in the very light blue. As time progresses even further, though, out, we can see that there's a little bit of a change on the horizon. Here we're looking at it around Thursday time frame. We can see that that jet stream wants to strengthen a little bit more over towards Southern California. And then by the end of the week, we're looking at a very strong area of low pressure troughing pushing down across the Pacific as strong high pressure ridging builds in the Western Pacific. That Western Pacific's ridge of high pressure is going to once again set up such a massive blocking pattern that it's going to strongly influence any storm that would want to form out of the Western Pacific. That's not at all good news for us. That strong trough of low pressure, though, means that once again we're probably in for more Gulf systems. And that's exactly what the models are reflecting this morning. This is the wave analysis model showing significant wave height out across the northern Pacific. We do have a Gulf fetch that's coming down right now. This is a rewind in time from the last model we saw in the jet stream. Western Pacific storm we've been talking about, you can see it's heading up toward the Aleutian chain. That thing is going to be dissipating fairly quickly, so not a lot's going to be coming out of that. That would be hitting us around the 28th or so, around the weekend. The Gulf fetch would be bringing us swell here on around Wednesday. We can see as time moves on that there's really not a whole lot of activity. This is looking out at about Tuesday's time frame, that fetch and from the Gulf breaking apart, the one across the Aleutians breaking apart, and just not a whole lot of swell that would be moving down our way. These yellow colors, that's languid weak. That's just hardly anything. You're talking about 9 to 12 foot seas far out in the ocean, far away from our shore. Just not a lot of activity. Need a lot of red colors out there to start showing us some swell's going to be headed our way. So when we look out on the 96-hour models, that's what we see. We can see that there's a Gulf system projected to form out. Now, this is once again 4 days away from now on the long-range simulation. If this does occur, though, that would be about a 30-foot fetch or so dropping down from the Gulf. Still quite steep angled for Southern California. But as we look as time progresses, that would be following that pattern from that trough from the jet stream, dropping down kind of close to the California coast. But it probably wouldn't bring us anything until around Sunday the 1st. And we can see that this is around Sunday the 1st time frame on the models. There would be about a 20-foot fetch sitting very close to Southern California, but angled from a very steep 310, 320 degree angle. Models are also showing some possibility that that troughing could cause a lot of wind and wind swell fetch that would bring in also some southerly swell. So it could get a little bit nasty, but once again, this being out right now on the 144-hour model simulation, it's just far too early to call right now. So that's a quick look at what's happening right now. That Gulf system that's dropping down today, we're looking at something coming out of that around Wednesday, but still fairly weak. The Western Pacific storm, that's breaking apart, so we're looking at some swell, but not a lot of ground swell hitting us Friday into Saturday. That's looking fairly weak as well. Looks like we may then see an increase in wind swell on Sunday the 1st, but that's real iffy right now based on very long-range simulation. We do know that the weather pattern is going to have somewhat of a southerly flow. Jet stream is going to be over our region, so we're looking at possibility of some precipitation today, but really not a whole heck of a lot. If anything, just more or less high clouds, clearing to more blue skies as the week progresses, more so Wednesday through the later part of the week. But that troughing that's looking to bring down that Gulf system that could possibly bring us wind swell on the 1st, that could also bring in some weather by then, but it's just too early to call. For all the ETAs, wind, weather, tide, and more, you can always check out my SoCal Surf Report at wetsand.com.